Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Celebrities and Manifestation. This is the channel where we take your favorite celebrities and break down how they manifested their success. If they can do it, so can you. When it comes to manifestation, one of the hardest things that people have trouble with is living in the end. When you want to manifest anything, you have to go beyond the manifestation itself. You have to go to a point in time where you are receiving a benefit from that manifestation. For example, if you want to live in a brand new house, it isn't going to be enough to just meditate and imagine the brand new house. You have to visualize, affirm, or imagine actually living in that house. You have to create a scene that uses all of the tones of reality so that you can imprint that moment in time into your subconscious mind. When your subconscious mind becomes imprinted, that's when the dream of the new house becomes real. That's when living in that new house becomes your new reality. But the journey of manifestation from conception to realization can be the most frustrating, confusing, and sometimes exhaustive journeys that a person can undergo. A good reason is the oversaturation of information about manifestation that only further confuses people more and more. One of the biggest reasons why people have a tough time understanding how to live in the end is that they don't have a real world example of what that is. It is far easier to understand this concept when you can see it, examine it, study it, and then apply it. And that, my dear friends, is why we will be talking about the great Lady Gaga today. Lady Gaga, over the past 15 years, has proven herself to be one of the most remarkable performers that there is. She can sing, play instruments, write music, dance, act, and anything else that she decides to put her mind to. She is fearless and remarkable. Her talent is magnificent beyond words. However, there are millions of other singers in this world that are as talented or maybe even more talented than Lady Gaga. This is fact. But how and why is she so successful when they are not? As an enormous Lady Gaga fan since the very beginning, I have noticed that Lady Gaga was living in the end at the very beginning of her career. As soon as she became more and more successful, she continued to move the bar higher and higher until she became the great and hugely successful Lady Gaga that we know of today. There are three main issues with living in the end that most people have trouble with. The first is belief. The second is consistency and persistence. And the last is not resisting old patterns. When you can master these three things, you will become a master manifester, and you will then be able to manifest anything that you want. So let's take a look at the first of the three problems with living in the end: belief. Belief can be a very hard thing to create because most of our beliefs that we have are already hardwired into the brain. This means it's already cemented into the conscious, unconscious, and subconscious minds. Most new beliefs are going to be in direct contradiction with the old beliefs. This is why our lives are already like they are, and this is why it can be hard to change because you are definitely going to have to fight those old beliefs. Those old beliefs are not going to go quietly into that good night. They are going to fight to stay in the light. They are going to fight to survive. The main reason why creating a new belief is tricky is because you don't believe it at first. Not believing a new belief can feel fake, uncomfortable, and tiresome. We are so used to beliefs being natural to us. We're so used to beliefs being comfortable and dependable. Having to tell yourself something is true when you know it isn't can seem very discomforting and false. This is the very reason why, when you're trying to accept a new belief, you seek out proof of its actuality so that you can be more accepting of that belief as truth or fact. When you are purposely manifesting, you have to manually do this yourself. There's not going to be real world proof that you are the greatest singer to have ever existed. You have to create that in your mind until it becomes your being. In this video, we're going to be looking at the early parts of Lady Gaga's career because how Lady Gaga performed when her career first started is a prime example of living in the end. Her rise to fame is the education that can be utilized to help you to understand how living in the end manifests your desires. In her early years, Lady Gaga was bullied in school, and she has said that she didn't know how to stand up for herself. Since she was raised to not show emotion, she didn't tell anyone about the constant bullying that she was experiencing every day. She had developed depression and utilized self-harm as a way of coping. She has stated that she got bullied because she was either too provocative or too eccentric. At the age of 18, Lady Gaga had a Facebook hate group started about her, and the group members left comments like she was trying to be an attention whore, that she would never be famous, and who does she think she is? There was even a post of someone stomping on one of her flyers. Now, Lady Gaga actually started training for her music career at the age of 4, and during her developmental years, she continued with her passion for creativity and music by continuing to learn and train how to be the great performer that she is today. Most of us do know what it's like to be made fun of and put down. I myself have had many experiences with bullying, and I can tell you that it really destroys your self-esteem. So the natural positive beliefs that we have about ourselves can be stripped away or eroded over time when we experience bullying. When you're trying to manifest something, you have to have a confidence that you can use to bring that manifestation to fruition. That confidence helps to create a knowing, which over time becomes a belief. For someone who has had their self-esteem stripped away, it can be an exceptionally hard thing to see a manifestation through from conception until reality when you have nothing valuable or strong to build with. So what is this thing that Lady Gaga had that made her persevere through all of these terrible situations where she is being attacked and harmed just for existing. It was belief. It was her belief in her talent that kept her striving. It was her unwavering belief in herself that has transformed her into the mega superstar that we see today. The hardest thing that people struggle with when it comes to living in the end is creating unwavering belief. It's hard because you know it's not true yet. It's hard to allow yourself to accept that what isn't real in the 3D yet. It's actually the truth. And then you have all of this negative history that keeps telling you that it could never be true. But this is the work that has to be done. This is the process. You have to keep telling yourself over and over again that this is the way that it is until it is the way that you want. You have to be serious about this. You have to be dedicated and committed to it, because once you do, the whole world opens up and gives you everything that you have asked for. You will receive everything that you ever wanted. Now, the second issue with living in the end is persistence and consistency. You see, Lady Gaga became a success, and it wasn't an overnight success. She spent years and years working her way up to the success she dreamed of. Lady Gaga started a band where they played local dive bars. She was in another group called Lady Gaga and the Starlight Review that paid tribute to lo-fi 70s music. She wrote hit songs for other artists, and she was eventually signed to a record label that dropped her a few months later. Nothing about her early journey into her fabulous fame would motivate anyone to keep going when all the efforts that you are making aren't leading to anywhere you actually want to be. So, what's causing Lady Gaga to keep persisting and being consistent? It's her belief. It's once again her belief. It's her persistence and her consistency with her beliefs. Her beliefs is that she is Lady Gaga, the great performer. So many of us give up because we have yet to see the results that we truly desire. The more you do something, the better at it you get it. You are always guaranteed to fail if you give up. If you keep going, you never know what may result. Giving up is the only true way to guarantee that you won't ever succeed. If you keep persisting and if you keep being consistent with that persisting, then a result of what your true desire is has no choice but to happen. When Lady Gaga finally released her famed LP, it wasn't an immediate success. Just Dance, which was the lead single, took 5 months to hit the top 100. And she had to collaborate with another artist who was more well known than she was in order for the song to do as well as it could. It was her first big hit, and the follow-up, Poker Face, spent 40 weeks in the top 10, but never hit number 1. With every single that she released afterwards, with every performance and every signature style, Lady Gaga continued to be persistent and consistent with her belief that she was the best pop star alive. There is an interview where Lady Gaga is heard saying that she tells herself something that she knows isn't true, but she keeps repeating it over and over again until it becomes true. This is persistent and consistency. Without these two things, your manifestation isn't going to happen. You have to understand that you are the driving force, the source, the energy that gives that manifestation life. When you take your energy, passion, and effort from it, the manifestation has nothing powering it. So how can it come to be if there is nothing making it real? You have nothing to lose by doing this. So why not make it as real as it could possibly be? Now, the third issue is not resisting old patterns. This can be understood as reacting to the 3D, spiraling, or repeating the old conversation that are reflective of your current reality. When Lady Gaga first started making the rounds after releasing Just Dance back in 2008, she performed at every venue that would have her. She would perform at fairgrounds, television shows that barely had any viewers, and she would perform as an opening act to bands that literally don't even exist anymore. And every time she would perform, she would get the ultra high entertainment that is so prevalent in her shows today. If you look at her old performances before she became famous and successful, you will see that there is no difference in the energy, the value, the passion, and the effort that she gave then exactly as she gives today. She gave the 30 people that were there to see her the same performance that she would give her audience of hundreds of thousands today. She completely became Lady Gaga, the pop star. The pop star that we all know and love right then and there and never looked back. Even though she was performing on a fairground, she performed as Lady Gaga, the pop star. And not if I do good enough, I might make it. That was Lady Gaga. It would be easy to fall back into the comfort of the same old story and say that this isn't a success. I only made it to the fairground or an unpopular television show and let that be the end of it. But she did not. When she performed on stage, it was always Lady Gaga, the famous pop star, that was performing. It was always Lady Gaga, the famous pop star, that everybody saw. And this is what changing your old story and not repeating old patterns can do for you. Lady Gaga had no idea that the kind of success and fame she would eventually achieve. Yet she continued to live in the end until her reality became what existed in her mind. As you know, you can too. Living in the end is about allowing yourself to accept, believe, and live in the reality that you desire. It is doing so without the need of 3D proof. It is living your life in your imagination and staying true and faithful to it until it becomes how you wake up every morning, until it becomes how you go to sleep at night. It is only a struggle if you allow it to be. The only thing that you need to do is reconcile the issues that you may have with belief, persistence, and consistency, and not reacting to the 3D. Once you have changed these things, you should start to see results. I urge everyone to take a look at the performances of Lady Gaga before she became famous, especially when her first song was released. Look at her attitude, her way of being, and her way of doing. Study her tenacity and dedication. You can use those same qualities to manifest the life that you always wanted. Okay, everyone, that concludes our video for today. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below. And I do apologize for any of the stuttering that you may hear in the video. I did my best. And please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until the next video, happy manifesting. Okay, that concludes our video for today. I hope this video